So let me then move on and start looking at some of the areas. And the first area I'm going to look at is communication. The reason I choose that first is because if you say to anybody, what is the problem with your marriage, they will say, we can't communicate. If you ask therapists, therapist says, well, their problem is they can't communicate. What do they mean? What do they mean they can't communicate? There's a case that happened, I cannot resist telling that because it happened 25 years ago, and I still just find it the best example I've ever seen of this. But I was doing the therapy and seeing this couple, and they habitually thought about a kind of a predictable set of 3 or 4 issues. They could almost say issue number 3 and they'd just get angry. You know, it didn't matter. They didn't have to go through the whole thing. So they had these things well rehearsed. And one of their favorite issues was, and I might say that the wife was an artist and the guy was a computer programmer. So right away, you might see some dynamics here. But so the way that this thing usually took place is she would say, you never take me out anymore. You need to take me out. You know, when we were dating, we went out to eat all the time, and now we never go out to eat. Are you ashamed of me? Why don't you take me out to eat? And he would say, you know, it costs 5 times as much to go out to eat. It takes a lot of time when we go out to eat. I help you prepare the food. I help you clean up afterwards. You know, it just makes no logical sense for us to go out to eat. Okay, so you see, she's like really wound up and impulsive and gets angry easily, and he was like, no, logical. It's the old Mr. Spock, you know, in the Star Trek, the logic guy. Okay, so they arrive for counseling at night, and it's like 5 o'clock, and I'm running up trying to get something to the person upstairs. And I run up the stairs, and just as I start up the stairs, I see them come in the door, and they're laughing and talking with each other. And I said, just go into my office. I'll be in just a second. I run upstairs, run down the hall, put the thing down on the woman's desk, and I hear them yelling at each other. I thought, that was fast. Now, it was not difficult to hear them yelling at each other because people in the clinical building next door and the experimental building 4 buildings down, they also heard them yelling. Because when they got wound up, they discussed things rather enthusiastically. So, you know, I now run down the stairs as fast as I can. I zip into my office. I shut the door behind me. They are looking at each other. They got the tendons in the neck that are standing out, you know, they got the veins going in the head, you know, and as I walk in the door and shut the door and stand, they turn and they both look at me. It's like, what is it? And I'm like, I couldn't help but overhear that you seem to be having an argument. You know, what happened? And she goes, he wants to take me out to eat, and I don't want to go. And I look at him, and he goes, who can understand a woman? And I'm like, okay, well, how did this happen? So they tell me how it happened. They're coming in, they're laughing, everything's going well. He says, you know, we've been talking about going out to eat for a long time. Why don't we go out to eat tonight? I'll take you out to eat. You choose the place. And she goes, I wish I'd known this before. I've already got supper. It's cooking right now. It's on the stove. If we go out, it'll burn. You know, we can't go out tonight. How about tomorrow night? He goes, you have been on me for months to take you out to eat. Tonight is your night. Don't blow it, you know. And so now they're yelling at each other, right? Notice, they're not talking about whether they're going out to eat, are they? No. They're talking about who can say whether they're going out to eat. They're in a power struggle. This is the pragmatics of communication. It's about what's the meaning underneath, not just what's on the surface that's being communicated. So we teach them ways of talking with each other. A semantics approach is this, what I call the steps. It's like Sherrod Miller's awareness wheel. Are y'all familiar with Sherrod Miller's awareness wheel? So there's a whole program in this. The interpersonal communications program, great program. But Jen has adapted it in a different way, the communication tango. Okay, I just happen to have some, let's see, the communication tango, there it is, and I happen to have some, yes, pictures that I ripped off of Jen's. Actually, I have another picture. This is my wife and me. Yeah, while Jen's coming, I'll tell you that the reason for that excitement, we're in a talent show at church, and I use the term talent loosely. We're on a little stage, right, and we're demonstrating the cha-cha. And so, you know, I take her into a spin, and I spin her right to the edge of the stage, and she is right balanced over the edge right there, and I'm going, you know.